Alright, welcome to part number something, because, yeah, but, yeah, in this part we're going to animate that texture for the booster ramp. Yeah, so let's just do that. So what you want to first do is you go to your SCSs, that's it. And you just pick any SCS that you know has ramps or animated textures in it. In this one I'm going to pick beginner course, which is Luigi's Circuit. And you want to open it up first with SCS tool, and then you want to export the course model of any blank course, and you just put it in your CT file and just make a new folder called animations. Alright, and in that folder, well, you don't have to go to that folder, you can just open up your brawl box, which is in the everything you need zip file. Now you just hit file, open, and you go to, let's see here, tutorial, right, that's it, in the animations, and open up the course model. And inside course model you'll have these files. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to nmtext srt, the srt file, and you want to find the one that has EF dashboard. EF dashboard is the boost panel texture animation. So you just right click that and hit export, and you put it in your animations folder. And then what you do is you go to textures and you find EF Aerobump S, EF Aerograd S, and EF Rainbow Red 2. And what you do is you right click these. This is important. You may be thinking, oh, I could just get the picture and I can put it in the file or something, but this is actually really important because you want to export it, and you want to export it as a texo file, and you can keep it the same name, and you just hit save. And you want to do it for all three of these. Make sure it's a texo, because what this does is it keeps the same settings as these textures have in Brawlbox. Because if you have different settings and you have different, like, the shaders and stuff for it, then it will freak out and crash the game. So yeah, you just export those three textures, and then you go to 3D models, and then you go to course, and you want to go to materials, and you want to find EF dashboard. Interesting. Dashboard. Okay. And you just right click it, export it, and you just save it. That's all you need to do for that one. And then with shaders, you find EF dashboard, and you find the shader it's linked with, which is shader 3. And you go to shader 3 and you export that. And yeah, that's all you need to export. So now you just close this out and go to your tutorial or your CT file. And before you open up your race and brawl box, what I like to do is I like to copy it just in case anything fails, so we have a good one. And I'll just say animated BRES, and we'll just do that, and I'll just paste in here. And another thing you need to do before you open up in Brawlbox, it will have an error unless you just open this up with BRES editor and just hit save again. I don't know why, but this version of Brawlbox is crazy like that, and I think you can't drag and drop it. So we'll just hit file, open, tutorial race, and animated BRES, and we just open this. And now what you want to do is you want to right click this, hit import texture animation, and you want to go to your animations file and hit course SRT, and there you go, you have those animations. And then what you want to do is you want to go to textures, and you find the Aerograd S1, and you right click it and hit replace, and you find Aerograd S. And then you want to make sure it's named EF underscore Aerograd S, and then hit OK. And then you want to hit import texture, and then you go Rainbow Red 2, open that up, you have those two, and then you want to hit import texture arrow bump S, and then you go, yeah, like that. And in Mario Kart, when you import the race to the game, any texture you put forwards will flip around and it'll face backwards. So we did that. We put the texture for the arrow on forwards, which will flip around backwards, but we can flip that around easily in here just by changing the rotation to 180 on texture 1 and 2. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Alright, so now what we do is, after you have the textures imported and renamed and you change the rotation of them to 180, you go to 3D models, course, and you find your material for your booster ramp texture, and you just replace this with EF dashboard, and then you want to rename it to EF dashboard. I think, yeah, let me just make sure that's right. Yeah, that's spelled correctly. Alright, and last but not least, you want to right click course right here and then hit add new shader, which is shader 1 now, and you replace that with this shader you put in, and now you have this. And then you want to link EF dashboard to shader 1, so we just do that. So yeah, when you do have EF dashboard, the higher the shader, you have to have it. So like, actually, okay, let me just. It's kind of like alphabetical order, but it's more like shader order. So if you have shader 0 for all these, and then shader 1 has to be on the bottom, and then shader 2, so you go after this, and then shader 3, and then so on. So like, the larger the shader is linked to it, the more down it has to be. If you understand what I'm saying, you probably don't. That was confusing. And then the last thing you want to do on here is you want to go to inside each material, and you want to change the scale of it. Instead of 0, 0, which is just going to be a solid color, to 1, 1, which is actually a texture. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to highlight all of that and paste it for all of them. We don't need it to do the ones in EF dashboard though, because they're already, see, they're already one. So we can just hit file and save once we've done all that and close it out. Now we can go back to tutorial race, open up Kanoko course, open up this, find our course model and replace it with the animated one we just made. So we can hit save now, close it, and now we can test it out in Dolphin again, which I will go to Wii Scrubber. I will load ISO, and it'll be my Mario Kart one, obviously. Then partition, race, course, Kanoko course, replace, CTs, tutorial race, Kanoko course. Alright, and now let's replace, oh. Yes, and now we can open up Dolphin and test it. This time I'm going to test it in a versus race, because we put, just to make sure the CPUs go the right direction, and the items and the item boxes and whatnot. And yeah, so we'll just go versus, solo. Whoops, that's not what I want. I want to be the king, so I'm going to be Funky Kong. So we're just going to go to our race. We didn't set cameras. I don't know how to set cameras yet. I will make a tutorial for that when I do know how to set cameras. But yeah, so far it's looking good. We have our animations that are working. And yeah. There's our item boxes. Oh boy, I got a TC. Look at that. and it's all working, and they're all following the right path. And it's kind of difficult on that one section. Let's see if these follow. Let's see if this follows the right path. Let's go past the cannon real quick. Pew! Yep, looks like it turns. And it goes forwards. And it... oh. Ooh, look, I got a red shell snipe. What do you know? And yeah, so it follows the stuff. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope it helped in your dreams to make custom tracks. And I don't know what to say because I'm not good at outros, so bye.